Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going over Bionano Genomics, ticker symbol BNGO. Now, this is a company that I have covered multiple times on my channel in the past, dating all the way back to December 28th of 2020. Well, in today's video, we are going to be going over some fantastic news that came out that I think has a lot of great implications for the future of Bionano Genomics. We're also going to be going over my holdings within the company and what moves I have made, and then we're going to do a little bit of technical analysis to get an idea of where I think this stock will be going in the future. Well, Bionano Genomics announces continued global expansion and adoption of its Sapphire system with addition of Indalo Bio in South Africa, bringing advanced genetic analysis to Africa for the first time. Well, Indalo Bio is an advanced molecular genetics laboratory situated on the slopes of the Table Mountain in Cape Town, Africa. So this is going to be a fantastic addition to the overall portfolio, basically at this point, of partnerships in which Bionano Genomics has. And as you will see here, I think that going forward that this will provide them with loads of potential. So it says that through its network of contracts and collaborations with pathology groups and hospitals across Africa, Indalo Bio aims to make modern genetic technology available to everyone on the African continent. Later on, in a quote from Joanne Kotze, as we do see here, she says that as I am the National Board Examiner for the specialized field of cytogenetics for the Society of Medical Laboratory Technologists of South Africa, my goal is to formally register our Sapphire-based laboratory as a training laboratory, very important, for the field of cytogenomics and write OGM into the South African cytogenetic guidelines. Where chromosomal microarray has failed to replace standard cytogenetic testing of cancer samples, I believe OGM has the potential to revolutionize cytogenetic analysis in Africa and the rest of the world. So I believe this is going to be very important for Bionano Genomics. I think going forward that education is one of the biggest factors that is going to allow them to grow. Not everyone is going to know exactly what Sapphire does, how it works, what the capabilities are. And so having things like this, where it says that they were going to formally register the Sapphire-based laboratory as a training laboratory for the field of cytogenomics, just says that it is going to allow them to educate the general consumer base, or people who would use a system like Sapphire, on how it works. And once they realize the capabilities and how advanced it is, I think that is going to allow Bionano Genomics itself to see a very rapid increase in consumer rate, especially considering the fact that Africa is a very, very untapped market. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead, let's jump into another article real quick just to take a look at just exactly how untapped this market is. So it says here that the rest of the world is interested too. Africa contains much more genetic diversity than any other continent because humans originated there. This diversity can provide insights into human evolution and common diseases, yet fewer than 2% of the genomes that have been analyzed come from Africans. So it's very interesting to consider the fact that Africa, being one of the biggest continents on Earth, obviously, and has some of the most diverse genetics that exist, has only accounted for less than 2% of the total genomes that have been analyzed within the world. I think this is a very untapped market, and I think with the capabilities that the Sapphire system has, that it could create an overall revolution within the genetic industry itself. And I think Indalo Bio is the first step to really get it out there. So I'm very excited. I think that this provides Bionano Genomics with a lot of potential. I think the capabilities are now endless for real, and I think going forward this is going to serve to be a fantastic partnership for both of these companies. And lastly, as we do take a quick look at from Eric Holman, who is of course the CEO of Bionano Genomics, towards the end he says that as Sapphire adoption expands around the world, we are proud to be seeing areas like Africa embrace OGM. We believe that the assays that Indalo Bio will develop on Sapphire can help democratize access to technology and ultimately help to improve the lives of patients all over the world. So from what we have seen from Bionano Genomics, from what we have seen from Indalo Bio, the capabilities that they have, the amount of partnerships, connections that they have within Africa, and then the fact that Africa is such a big untapped market, I truly do agree that this is going to be absolutely revolutionary for this company for sure, no doubt at all. So with that being said, I just wanted to take a quick look just to show you all what all I have done with Bionano Genomics. Of course, this is a fantastic company, but one thing I will say is that I have not done too much recently. Well, whenever I first got into Bionano Genomics, it was actually the very first penny stock that I have ever bought in my entire life. I had always monitored them, but I never felt confident enough in my ability to analyze stocks up until maybe about November or December of last year. I took about 4 or 5 months to really get to understand the penny stock market and to truly figure out how everything worked before I put a single dollar in. Now, whenever I first got into it, I only put maybe about 80, maybe about 40, I'd say more about $40 into it roughly, just to kind of get my feet wet and just to kind of see what would happen with the stock price, as I truly had no doubt in my mind that this company was set to take off. So I bought about 20 shares at the time for $2.82 a piece, and it was going to be right towards the end of the year of 2020, right around this area here. Now, over the course of time, it did grow substantially, and on a February 18th, I remember it had just hit past around $13 roughly. It was coming back down. I was like, you know what? I think it's about time. I went ahead, I sold 75% of my holding just because I was up so much and I had a feeling that those levels were a little bit unrealistic. And so I went ahead, I took about 75% of my portfolio out, and then I kept another 25% just to kind of see what would happen. 25% equals about 5 shares. So realistically, what I have been doing has been not much at all. I'm honestly just going to sit on these shares for now. I think if it presents a great buying opportunity, which it honestly may pretty soon here, I might get in. But considering my average cost is so low, I don't know if I want to go messing with it too much, but that's just about all I have done with this stock. Now going forward, I want to take a look at some of the technicals and just give you all what I am seeing with this stock. So as we have seen since roughly February 18th, 19th, and 20th, it has started to create this descending triangle. Now, typically with the descending triangles, we're going to get one of two outcomes, and it's typically your usual outcome from the stock market. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down, right? It's pretty common sense there. But it is a little bit more in depth, and then there is a little bit more detail to it. So as I am seeing here, we are starting to create a very strong resistance point right around this line here. And I think that going forward, as we are starting to see it bounce off this top of this descending triangle here, that it is starting to meet this intersection point, which will generally be an indicator that it is going to make a big move one way or another. So if you are bullish on this stock, and if you want to see this thing go up, what you should be looking for, what I am personally hoping for, of course, as I do have shares in this company, is that we start to see it cross through this line here. Maybe even if it continues to bounce off of this bottom line resistance and passes through that top line there, even through consolidation, I would be very, very content with seeing it continue to bounce off this bottom line resistance. Now, what we could see happen if we are a little bit bearish and if this does take a negative turn, is that if it crosses through this bottom line resistance right here, we could start to see it make a break, in my opinion. For honestly, it could probably go all the way down to about that $5.50 mark without much resistance at all. That's about where the last resistance was over in January, and so I'm expecting that if we see it start to pass through some of this previously set resistance, that it may make an absolute deep dive down, and at that point, if we see it break through resistance and not show any signs of recovery, I would probably sell the rest of my shares, as I would 100% believe that it would likely start to fall towards that $5.50 mark. Now, if it was to cross over through the top of this line and we start to see a bullish uptrend begin, then I would be looking for it to surpass some of these previous highs, start to set higher highs, and establish a strong uptrend, because at that point I think it would be safe to say that it is going to maintain levels above, that $7 mark, and I think then that would be at that point safe to say, okay, then I think maybe possibly start up a new, re-enter into this position. I know I have some shares, but buy some more shares and start to look to see this thing make a break for it, possibly start to recover all the way up to $15 in the months and years to come, and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, as it just will take time to monitor to see exactly where it will go and how it does interact with these two resistance points, as again, it is approaching a very crucial moment for the midterm and short term for sure. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today when it comes to Bionano Genomics. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new. With that being said, I post on this channel 2 to 3 times every single day, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace.